all love Neil Simon's The Odd Couple. Well, guess what? The show is coming to Hilton Head. It's going to be at the Coligny Theatre next weekend. Well, the weekend of the 17th, 18th, and 19th, and then the last weekend of February. With me now is Oscar. Actually, the actor is Kyle Price, but Kyle is playing Oscar in The Odd Couple.
Yes, ma'am.
Great show. Great cast. You've got a great cast of 8 people.
We do. We've got a couple of females that are brave enough to join us, and then there's me and the Felix character played by Mark Erickson, and then we have 4 other guys. Maddie, who's big on in this area.
Right.
Nick, Warren, and Dan, and they just all do a killer job. We have had so much fun, and the best part about it is how relevant something that was written back and produced in 1965 is still funny today.
Right.
With all that time and all that's gone by and all the stuff. And that's another message that's great, is the fact that we were all locked in these houses with everybody for so long, and you got on each other's nerves, and now you can actually see it on stage.
Now,
so we're looking forward to it.
Remind me, Kyle, Oscar, is he the neat one or the messy one?
Negative, ma'am. He is the slovenly, neatness is not, I would say that was the antithesis of the neatness. But not in a grotesque way. It's just he doesn't care.
Right.
He is actually divorced. He's been divorced for 6-7 months now. So he's just got that carefree lifestyle. Right. And that's the whole premise of the show, is the fact that, hey, he's all by himself. Here's his buddy fixing to go through the same thing that he went through. What a great idea to have him move in with me. Right. Little did he know.
Well, in Main Stage Community Theatre, we of course had Daniel Cord, who's on the board, and Debbie. We've seen a lot and covered a lot of the shows there, and this is an interesting kind of extension of what Main Stage has been doing over at Main Street Theatre with the musicals, and particularly for the younger people. Right. And so now we've grown to the Coligny Theatre for more of an adult audience. The proscenium stage is built for your traditional theaters. So your big musical numbers, your Sound of Music, your Footloose, stuff like that. Right. This is a more intimate setting. It's more kind of, I don't want to say in your face, but it's a closer. So you can do more adult type things that really gets into the acting side of things. Right. Where you see the one-on-one, and it's not just all belting songs. I mean, those are great, don't get me wrong. But it's funny to see the nuances, because your facial expressions, a lot of stuff that you lose on the big stage, here in the Coligny Theatre, you can actually, you'll be really close, almost as close as you and I are talking. How many seats does it hold? That is a great question for someone else, because I think it's around like 150, 160, but the venue itself, I think, is in the 200. But we are building the stage out some, so we're taking up some of the of the seats to make room for us. All right. So tell us about your background. You were telling me you've been in sales, but you've always started acting in college. Well, the funny story, I actually went to, I was going back to college. I was actually a fireman here in Bluffton, one of the first ones. Yeah, my number was 37, so that's how long ago it's been. Now there's in the hundreds that are in there. But I was going back to school, and I had to take a course called Managing Goals and Careers. And the assignment was to get involved in an extracurricular activity. I saw an audition notice for the drama club and figured I'd be smart and say, if I audition and don't get into that club, do I still get credit? And he's like, sure, bring me a note. So I went to auditioned, and I got cast. And I was like, I can't believe it. And you got I had the time theater bug. And from then it's gone on. It just went on. So, you've got a cast of eight individuals, and with comedy, it's a lot about the timing and the pacing and the picking up those lines, and it's critical. Well, it's the realism of it. It's the way Neil's got this thing written, and I talk to him like I know him, but I've read it so many times I kind of feel like I do. He writes so from the narrative perspective. Yeah, right. And so the conversations are very back and forth. I mean, there's even, like, I'm not going to ask you a question, and there's a junk, and here's the punchline, da-dun, shut. Right, and it flows so easy. And like I said, again, this thing was written many, many years ago, and it's still funny. Still relevant. Very good. Well, again, Odd Couple being produced by Main Stage Community Theatre. It's going to be Coligny Theatre the weekend of 17th, 18th, 19th of February, and then the following weekend, which is the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. It's going to be a great show. Yep. Thank you, Kyle Price, for being with us. Thank you for having me. Yeah, great. So go on the website and get all the information, the time the show starts, and where you can get tickets.